Hello children, welcome to chemistry class today. Okay. So, we are going to learn about acid, bases and salts. This is second chapter in the first part of your science book, and we are going to learn part 4 of 4. This is the last part. This starts from page number 30 to 33. Okay. Page number 30 to 33 in your textbook. Okay. Let us revise what the learning points are going to be learned in this chapter. Okay. For entire chapter we are going to learn about properties of acids and bases, how do acids and bases react with each other, next how strong are acid base solutions are there. Okay. Next we go for importance of pH in everyday life, then chemicals from common salt. So, these are the learning points in this chapter mainly, and in first part what we have learned, let us revise in brief because it is the last episode. Okay. So, properties of acids and bases. So, in this one we have learned the different types of acids and bases. Okay. So, acids there are two types, organic acid and mineral acid that we have learned, and also we learned to identify them whether given the solution is whether base or acid. So, that is by using indicators. In the earlier in the beginning I told that the people used to taste, and this one tasting the acid or base is very dangerous. We are not going supposed to do because they are harmful. So, without tasting we can say organic mild acids no problem, but mineral acids are very dangerous, especially sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acids are dangerous one. So, we are not supposed to taste anyway, and also you are not supposed to touch also, I told in the beginning itself, because they are corrosive in nature. Okay. Without tasting how can we find out? By using indicators. Okay. So, by using indicators means there are two types, natural indicators and synthetic indicators also, blue litmus, red litmus and phenolphthalein indicator, methyl orange, like that many indicators we have learned. Okay. Next, reaction of metals with the acids and bases we have learned in the first part. In the second part, so the second part we have learned. In third part, how strong acids are base solutions. Okay. And also we learnt about importance of pH in everyday life. So, I am showing here plants. So, that is also important. No? The plants require suitable pH for the development, growth properly and give the yield properly. So, that is the importance, and also sodium hydroxide, how we are going to manufacture, that we learnt in the third part. Okay. In the fourth part we are going to learn about salts. Which are the salts? Bleaching powder, baking soda, washing soda and finally plaster of Paris. These are all salts which are going to be the byproducts of common salt, sodium chloride, that is brine solution. No? So, that we are going to learn today. So, before going to learn the salts, I am going to revise little bit in the previous one. This is the last episode we are going to learn in detail. So, let me revise and go for the salts in the last. Okay. So, finally, I am going to do the revision. What we learned in part 3 we are going to revise now, the importance of pH in everyday life. Okay. So, here our body to work, it requires a pH range of 7 to 7.8, that is little basic in nature. So, our body is going to work properly, that is digestion of food and other things will be occur, but digestion requires little acidic nature, but when you go to the basic nature, the blood and all, that will work in 7 to 7.8. Okay. When the pH of rainwater is less than 5.6 or 5.5 is called acid rain. 5.5 is called acid rain. That means the atmospheric air pollution where the sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide and other nitrates and all, nitrous oxides and nitrogen oxides are dissolved in water to form acid. So, when the range is less than 5.5, it is called acid rain, 5.5 to 5.5. So, it is called acid rain. So, it causes a lot of damages to the agricultural land, that means the plants will die because of the acidity, and also the fauna and flora which is present in the aquatic, that means in the rivers. So, they also die due to the change in the acidic nature. So, this acid is very dangerous, clear. So, that is why pollution should be reduced. Okay. See the monuments, even Taj Mahal is becoming brown color, which was white marble and white color. Now, see this statue was beautiful once upon a time, because of the acid rain that is corroded. See how badly it is corroded. This is due to the acid rain, acidity in the atmosphere caused this property. Okay. Now, pH and tooth decay, is there any relationship between that? Of course, pH means the hydronium and hydroxyl ions which are present in the solution. So, in the mouth what will happen? Mouth, we have the teeth, no? The teeth is going to be coated with the strongest material, that is enamel, what we say. So, it is a calcium crystalline salt. Calcium crystalline salt is present in this one. The name of the salt is calcium hydroxyapatite. So, it is the strongest crystal. So, it cannot be dissolved in the water commonly. So, this is going to present in the enamel. So, what will happen, So, after eating the food, if you are not going to clean it properly, so what will happen? The food particles and sugar particles which are present in the mouth, that is in the teeth, between the teeth and all. So, because of the bacterial activity, acid is going to be released. So, this acid corrodes the enamel, that means it will eat away. So, by that we are going to get tooth decay. Understood, no? Why your parents are going to say you to brush the teeth, wash your teeth, wash your mouth after eating food, drinking coffee and all. Sometimes they will tell drink water and gargle it. So, why? Because to remove the particles, food particles which are present in between the teeth. So, it is also better to use toothpaste which is having a base in it. Okay? Base is going to be there. Brush it, what will happen? The base which is present in the toothpaste, that is going to neutralize the acids which is present in the mouth. Okay. So, then the tooth is going to protected. Minimum 2 to 3 times you have to brush with the paste. Okay. This will protect your teeth. Okay. So, next we can see the acids even in the plants and animals also. You know that there is one plant called nettle plant. Nettle plant. These plants leaves have methanoic acid in them. That means, the hair-like structures which are having, they have methanoic acid. When it enters or when it touches our body, that means it will enter into the skin and inject the methanoic acid. So, it causes a burning pain, burning sensation will be there, and also swelling will be occurred, red color, rashes will be occur in this one. Yes. So, remedy also is there. So, nearby the plant only here and there you can see one plant called dock plant. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಪುಳ್ಳಂಪುರ್ಚಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ಪುಳ್ಳಂಪುರ್ಚಿ. So, take the plant leaves and rub it in the area where the rashes are present or burning sensation or burning pain is occurred on the hand or any part of the body, you can use this one. So, by rubbing this one, that is going to be relieved. This is the traditional remedy. Okay. Now, we will see the brine solution, how they are going to prepare this one. So, here you see the tank with the 4 outlets are there. One is inlet, that is brine solution is put inside, and the outlet is for NaOH, that is brine containing NaOH is going to be come out, and there is 2 vents upside because that is for gases. Okay. This also we have learnt in the previous session. So, here when you pass the current through the electrodes, so the brine solution, that is sodium chloride, is going to be dissociated into sodium plus ion and chlorine minus ion, that is Na plus Cl minus. Okay. These are going to move to the opposite poles, the opposite charges, and chlorine is going to be released near the anode, and sodium is going to combine with the OH ions to form sodium hydroxide, NaOH. Okay. Then hydrogen gas is liberated near the cathode. So, this is how the products are going to be. Here we are getting 3 products from the brine solution. Brine solution is nothing but concentrated sodium chloride, that is common salt what we use. Concentrated common salt solution is brine solution. So, when you subject to the electrolysis, we are going to get these are the product. Each product is having its usefulness. Okay. So, chlorine is used in the water treatment, swimming pools, PVC, disinfectants, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, and pesticides manufacturing. And also hydrogen we are going to use for the fuel, it is used as a fuel, and margarine, ammonia for fertilizers. So, like this we are going to use. Even NaOH is having many uses. Now, we go for bleaching powder. So, bleaching powder is produced by the action of chlorine on dry slaked lime, that is CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide. So, CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide, when treated with chlorine, it forms calcium oxychloride plus H2O, calcium oxychloride plus hydrogen, that is water is going to form, not the hydrogen, water. Once again I am telling CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide plus chlorine, and it is going to combine or react with each other to form calcium oxychloride and water is released. Okay. This calcium oxychloride, that is CaCl2, is bleaching powder. So, when you take this bleaching powder, when you dissolve in water, chlorine gas is going to be liberated. So, that chlorine gas is going to used for disinfectant and all. So, bathroom cleaning and all we are using now. So, that is bleaching powder, not only for bathroom cleaning, it is going to use it for many other purpose. So, it is used for bleaching cotton and linen in the textile industries. Bleaching cotton at the beginning it will be black in color, dark in color, after bleaching it becomes white color, and linen in the textile industries they are going to use it, and wood pulp in the paper factories. So, they will bleach the wood pulp is going to be brown colored condition and that is going to be used to bleach it. So, it becomes white. In the paper industry also it is going to be used, and bleaching washed clothes in the laundry also. First they will wash the clothes, if still it is there some brownish color, they are going to use bleaching powder to clean it, because chlorine has the bleaching capacity. Children, if you want to test it once again, no? So, take some bleaching powder and put there 1 or 2 petals of hibiscus, ದಾಸವಾಳದ ದಳಗನ, ಕೆಂಪು ದಾಸವಾಳ ದಳಗನ ಬ್ಲೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಪೌಡರ್ ಹಾಕಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದು ಕಲರ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ದ ಬಣ್ಣ ಬದಲಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ದ ಕಲರ್ is going to be changed. Okay, that is called bleaching action. Removal of color is called bleaching action. So, chlorine is a agent, bleaching agent what we can say. Okay. So, now it is also used into clean water from the germs, that means to make drinking water free from germs. Germs means microorganisms which are present, that is going to be killed by chlorine. It is a poison, slightly poisonous for the insect. So, microorganisms such as bacteria and all, they are going to be cleaned, they are going to kill and they are going to be cleaned off. Okay. Then it is used as an oxidizing agent in many chemical industries. So, chemical industries they are going to use this one for oxidizing. Okay. So, these are the uses of chlorine. Still more uses are there, so that you can learn in the higher classes. Okay. Next we come to the baking soda. So, baking soda, ಅಡಿಗೆ ಸೋಡಾ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಲ್ಲ, ಅಡಿಗೆ ಸೋಡಾ. So, baking soda is nothing but sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3. So, it is widely used as a cooking material, that means in the cooking purpose we are going to use this one. NaCl plus H2O plus CO2 plus NH3, it gives NH4Cl plus NaHCO3, sodium chloride, water and carbon dioxide plus ammonia. So, when they react with each other, it gives NH4Cl plus NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate is going to be obtained, that is called baking soda. On heating up to 373 Kelvin, sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate, both are same. So, when you heat it at 373 Kelvin, so Na2CO3 plus H2O plus CO2 will come. That means sodium carbonate, water and carbon dioxide is going to be produced here. So, this is widely used in making baking powder which is used in the bakeries. No? So, you might have seen the cakes are very soft and fluffy, cake, bread and all. No? So, why it is, what is the reason this one? So, they will add sodium hydrogen carbonate plus little tartaric acid they are going to mix, a mixture of sodium carbonate, hydrogen carbonate and tartaric acid is going to be mixed. So, when they react with each other, carbon dioxide is going to be liberated on heating. On heating, carbon dioxide is going to be liberated. This carbon dioxide along with the vapor of water try to escape from the dough andre gottalla, hiಟ್ಟು. So, when it is going to try to escape, it leaves the gaps there. So, that is why it appears to be spongy, many holes you can see, spongy type it will be there, and it will be very tasty as well as soft to eat. Clear? That is why you are going to use baking soda or baking powder in the bakeries. Clear now? So, this is the soda what you are seeing. Next, other uses also we are going to see, that is for making baking powder. Okay, baking powder, that means NaCO3 plus H plus. This H plus where we are getting? It is from the mild acid like that tartaric acid. So, that is going to obtain. So, when it is heated, carbon dioxide plus water plus sodium salt is going to be obtained. Sodium salt of acid is going to be obtained. Okay. So, then it is used as an ingredient in antacids. Antacid means that means in the stomach what will happen? We will get the pain because of the acidity. So, to relieve that one we are going to use baking soda. Okay. In soda acid fire extinguishers also, you know that near the petrol bunks or the cinema halls and some big shops and all, they will keep one fire extinguisher box, red color box with the handle and the pipe and all will be there. That is called fire extinguisher. So, in that one they will have some acid will be there, and soda is going to be kept in. When you hit up, there is a knob, when you hit that one, the bottle will break and soda will fall into the acid, and it starts liberating carbon dioxide in huge quantity. So, when you direct this one to the fire, the carbon dioxide will be poured and that is going to be put off. That means, two methods. One, it will cut the oxygen supply, another it removes the temperature. So, by that fire will extinguish. So, that is why they are using soda acid in the fire extinguisher. Okay. Now, we come to learn about washing soda. So, what is washing soda? You are using for cloth cleaning and all. No? So, the general formula of this one is Na2CO3 10H2O. Washing soda is Na2CO3 10H2O. Here, what is the 10H2O? Decahydrated sodium carbonate, what we say? Deca means 10 water molecules are in this one, but it is not wet. That means, the water of crystallization, that means, water is present in the a part of the formula of this one only. So, they are appears to be dry only. Okay. So, washing soda. So, how it is going to prepare we will see. Sodium carbonate plus 10H2O. So, when reacted it forms Na2CO3 10H2O. That means, the water of crystallization is going to be formed on recrystallizing the sodium carbonate. So, when you recrystallize sodium carbonate with water, it gives hydrated sodium carbonate is going to be decahydrated sodium carbonate is going to be obtained here. Okay. So, this is the sodium bicarbonate, decahydrated sodium carbonate. So, what are the uses of this one? It is commonly known as washing soda. It is used in the manufacture of glass, soap and paper industries also. Paper industries they are going to be obtained. So, it is used in the manufacture of borax, another compound called borax is going to be obtained. So, washing soda is one of the major ingredient in the manufacture of glass, okay, and even borax and soap also they are going to use it. Okay. Next, it is going to be used as a cleaning agent for domestic purpose, window cleaners, and if oil spills they will put this soda and they will wash it. So, for cleaning purpose also they are going to, that is domestic purpose also we will use it. Okay. These are the uses of sodium carbonate. So, it is used in removing permanent hardness of water also, permanent hardness of water. So, by that hardness of water is because of so many minerals which are present in this one. Okay. Minerals are present. So, that causes hardness of water, that means, they will not give lather in the borewell water or some waters, hard water. So, when you add this soda, that is going to be replaced, that hardness is removed by the chemical reaction and it becomes smooth soft water. Okay. So, now let us see one experiment, that is crystallization. No? So, what will happen we will see. I have taken copper sulphate in the hard glass and I am heating now. I have taken the hard glass test tube. So, I am heating it. See that the water molecules which are present on the surface and also the color of the copper sulphate. Color of the copper sulphate becoming white in color and also water droplets are. Once again, if allow the water droplets to join together, it becomes once again it regains the color. So, this shows that without water molecules it becomes white in nature, white color. That means it loses its color. When water of crystallization is present, that gives the color for the copper sulphate. Okay. Here hydrated copper sulphate CuSO4 5H2O, or it can be read as pentahydrated copper sulphate. It is also known as pentahydrated copper sulphate. Similarly, you can have hydrated sodium carbonate Na2CO3 10H2O, decahydrated sodium carbonate. So, these are the formulas. So, you can see the water molecules in the formula itself. It is a part of the crystal itself. That is why we call it as water of crystallization. Is clear, no? So, they are not going to be wet, they are solids only. They are going to be solids only because the water molecules are the part of the formula, that means crystal itself. Okay. Now, we will come to the another salt, that is plaster of Paris. So, calcium sulphate you have seen, no? Calcium sulphate with half H2O plus 1.5 H2O. Half H2O plus 1.5 H2O gives calcium sulphate plus 2 H2O, which is known as gypsum. It gives us the gypsum. So, what do you mean by this? CaSO4 1.5 H2O. Is it possible to get half H2O? No. For simplifying formula, we have written like this one. So, calcium sulphate half H2O plus 1.5 H2O gives calcium sulphate, hydrated calcium sulphate, that is 2 H2O, CaSO4 is going to be obtained. So, here what is happening here? Here we can't get any half H2O, no? Molecule is not going to be in the fractions here. Why we are taking this one? That means calcium sulphate is sharing the water molecule, 2 molecules of calcium sulphate sharing the molecules of water. So, that is why it is to make it the equation properly, we have taken as half H2O and 1.5 H2O. Clear, no? So, the product which is obtained is calcium sulphate, hydrated calcium sulphate CaSO4 2 H2O. So, what are the use of gypsum salt? Here see plaster of Paris what we are using. So, gypsum salt uses in the cement manufacturing, that you will learn later. Here uses of plaster of Paris we are going to learn. So, this is going to be used to set right the bones in the right position. That means, whenever fracture occur, it has to be set in the same position and should not move. So, for that purpose, to supporting the fractured bone in the right position, they are going to put and they will plaster it. They are going to plaster it in the hospitals and all. You might have seen, not only like the hands and all, the broken bones are going to be set right like this. Okay, this is the one of the use. Only this much? No. Look at this. It is going to use in the making toys, decorative materials, and smoothing the surfaces. False roofing you have seen, no? False roofing. So, there also they will use. So, you can see the toy, see how nicely it is. This is the toy which is made up by plaster of Paris, and look at the ceiling, how beautiful it is, no, for decorative purpose, and also smooth surface you can make it by using plaster of Paris. So, this is the uses. Not only this, they are going to use for many decorative purpose, making toys and all. Buildings are going to be designed like this one with the smooth surfaces. Okay. So, this is the roof design. So, children, we have learned so far bleaching powder, how it is going to be manufactured and what is the uses of it, okay, in the fourth part. Okay. So, baking soda, how they are going to manufacture and what are the uses of baking soda also we have learned. Next, washing soda also, washing soda, how it is going to manufactured and what are the uses we have learned just now, and the plaster of Paris. I think we will not forget, no. So, we have learnt about the salts in this chapter in detail, that is bleaching powder, baking soda, washing soda and plaster of Paris. Okay. It is time for activity. Let us go for activity. Okay. Ask your mother and list out which are the food items in which she uses baking soda and why, and also ask and know what happens if excess soda is used. Okay. Understood, no? So, because your mother is going to use soda for so many things in the house, for cooking purpose, making varieties of dishes, is not it? So, why she is using? What is the purpose of using it? There should be a reason, no, scientific reason behind it. So, why she is using? Okay, what purpose she is using? you ask her, and also know if you put more soda what will happen. She knows that you ask and list out and discuss with your friends and teacher. Okay? Friends, and finally, you discuss with the teacher. Clear now? Next we go for another thing. Prepare few science models such as heart, digestive systems and other thing. Okay? Any science models you can do using plaster of Paris, and share your experience with your teacher as well as your friends. How you have made, how much water you have done, and how shape was given for it one, and how difficult it was to make it smooth and all. So, that experience if you share with the friends, they will also happy and they will do. Okay? So, now it is quiz time. Plaster of Paris is prepared by using what they will do? Lime, slaked lime, gypsum and soda. So, plaster of Paris is prepared by using lime, slaked lime, gypsum and soda. Which is the correct answer? Think for a while. Okay? I think you know the answer. Let us see. Let us verify that one. Okay? So, lime is not that one, slaked lime is also not there, and soda is also not there. It is gypsum. Okay? Gypsum salt. Recrystallization of gypsum is gives the plaster of Paris once again. In your examination, they will not ask the match the following. So, it will be easy for me to sum up everything in brief. That is why I have taken the match the following in this case. Okay? Let us see. Bleaching powder, A part, bleaching powder, gypsum, soda, sodium chloride. In the B part, to produce H2 and Cl2, that is hydrogen and chlorine, disinfectant, manufacture of glass, decorative materials. So, these are the options I have. Now, which is the correct answer? Think of. If you know the answers, verify now. Okay? Good. So, bleaching powder, it is a disinfectant because it kills the germs, because it releases chlorine. Clear no? So, that is why it is used as disinfectant. Next is the gypsum. So, this gypsum is going to be used for decorative materials, roofing, false roofing and making toys and other things. Okay. Next is the soda, it is used in the manufacture of glass and soaps also will be, but here glass is given. Next, sodium chloride, to produce hydrogen and chlorine gases. Sodium chloride is nothing but common salt what we use for cooking. Okay. So, this is the about entire thing which is important for this chapter we have learned. Okay. We have learned, and children go through the lesson. First you read the lesson text from the textbook, and finally you can read, go through that chapter, read the lesson, and any doubts you can ask your class teacher, and you will consult class teacher and friends and you can clarify. Okay. So, it is easy to understand if you go step by step. Okay. Thank you very much, children.